Welcome to the deep dive. So, you've asked us to make sense of, well, the beautiful chaos of modern building.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to distill your sources down to the top 5 trends that are fundamentally reshaping architecture right now. We're looking at aesthetics, sure, but also how buildings are being forced to respond to huge global pressures.
That's exactly right.
Hmm.
I mean, if you look at architecture since 2000, there's no single dominant style. It's a real mix.
Right.
But when things like the climate crisis or housing shortages hit, you see certain very pragmatic ideas rise to the top. So let's unpack those.
Okay, let's start with a big one. Trend one, the modular revolution. This is basically prefabricated construction,
Yep.
where entire rooms, or at least major components, are built offsite in a factory and then assembled.
And this trend is just. It's taking off for some really obvious reasons.
Hmm.
The sources we looked at estimate projects get done anywhere from 20 to 50% faster.
50%, that's huge.
It is. And it cuts costs by up to 20%. Plus, since it's all built indoors, you pretty much eliminate weather risk.
Which makes timelines super predictable. And it's not just for, cookie cutter houses anymore, is it?
Oh, not at all. It's moving into healthcare for things like rapidly deployable hospitals and even schools. It's a solution for both labor and housing shortages at the same time.
But I have to ask, doesn't that just lead to, well, boring buildings if everything is standardized for a factory?
That is the core tension. And it actually leads us perfectly into our second trend, which is about what we do with the buildings we already have.
Trend two, adaptive reuse.
Exactly. The ultimate form of recycling. You take an existing building and give it a completely new purpose.
Like turning an old power station into the Tate Modern in London.
That's the most famous example.
Yeah.
Or a dead shopping mall becoming a community college campus. You're avoiding demolition.
And demolition is incredibly wasteful, right? Do the sources give us a number on that?
They do, and it's staggering. The construction industry is responsible for about 25% of the entire world's solid waste. So adaptive reuse tackles that head on. You conserve all those materials and the energy embedded in them.
Okay, so moving from waste to sheer survival, let's talk trend three, climate resilience in eco-design.
This one is non-negotiable. Buildings account for something like 40% of global carbon emissions.
So architecture has a huge role to play here.
A massive one. And resilience is the key word. It means designing buildings that can handle both sudden shocks, like a flood, and also chronic stresses, like a sustained heat wave.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, a big focus is on passive design. So the building isn't so reliant on a fragile power grid. Things like green walls to cool surfaces or blue infrastructure to manage rainwater.
The thing I found fascinating is the data side of it. Architects are now using future weather scenarios to model their designs.
Yes, not historical data. They're designing for the climate of 2050, not 1990.
It makes you think. That house built in the 70s with just an AC unit is kind of a ticking time bomb.
It's a climate liability,
Mhm.
for sure. And, all that complex modeling,
Mm-hmm.
it creates this enormous demand for data processing, which brings us to trend four.
The AI architect.
Exactly. And this isn't just a theory. The big star architect firms, Zaha Hadid Architects, Morphosis, Foster Plus Partners, they're all using it actively.
So how are they using it? Is AI just drawing the lines faster?
It's much more than that.
Yeah.
ZHA uses tools like Midjourney just for initial brainstorming to get ideas out quickly.
Huh.
And for optimization, it's a game changer. Morphosis has a system that can generate like 100 or 200 design alternatives in minutes. A human team would take days.
So the architect's job is changing. It's less about being the lone genius with a pencil and more.
More of a technology coordinator. They're directing the AI. But again, there's that tension. If an AI is globally optimizing for efficiency, does it kill local character?
Which leads right into our final trend, number 5, the ornament debate.
Yes. For a century, modernism basically outlawed ornament for the sake of efficiency and mass production.
And we ended up with a lot of very plain, sometimes soulless buildings, the kind of apartment blocks people call McPodiums.
Right, and the public, surveys show they often don't like them. People tend to prefer buildings with more detail, more character that feels connected to a place.
So there's a pushback.
A huge one. It's driving this emerging idea called new contextualism. The whole point is to design something that's deeply integrated with its specific setting, its history, its climate, its culture. It's the direct opposite of a bland universal box.
So we're really torn between two futures. On one hand, you have modular and AI pushing for speed and optimization.
And on the other, you have climate resilience and new contextualism demanding that designs be hyper-specific to their location and community.
That's the conflict right there, efficiency versus identity.
It is. And that leaves a final thought for you to consider. If the future is all about these efficient, fast, optimized methods, how do we make sure that what we build still meets that very human need for beauty, for history, and for sense of place?
A tough question.
It is. I'd say look up new contextualism. It might just hold the key to balancing that need for speed with the need for soul.